In this video I'm going to look at the COUNTIF, the SUMIF, and the AVERAGEIF functions. And I'm going to start out with the COUNTIF. What I want in this first column in this little table is a count of all the employees who work in Austin. And then I will want a count of all employees who work at home, a count of all employees who work in Nashville, and so forth. In the second column, I want to get a total salary for all of the people who work in Austin and at home and so forth. And then finally in the third column, I'm looking for an average salary for all the people who work in Austin and then home, Nashville, and so forth. So in your textbook, they show you how to do it using the dialog box. And so I'm going to show you an alternative method. I've showed you how to type the functions out without using the dialog box, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to start out, of course, with my equal sign, and then I'm going to start typing the name of the function to get the function list. And I'm going to then double click on the COUNTIF function, and so there's the function along with the function arguments. And so my first argument in the COUNTIF function is range, and what that refers to is the range where I want to count the number of people, for example, who are in Austin. So on the employee data worksheet, I know that I've set up the information in a table named employee. So I'm just going to type an E, which is the beginning of the table name. Here's the table. I'm going to double click it, and then I'm going to type an open bracket to get a list of all the column headings in that table. And so what I want to work with is the location column. So I'm going to double click location, and that's my range. Then the criteria is Austin, so I'm going to simply click on cell B4. And our authors kindly set up this particular exercise so that all I have to do is copy this down, and there are all of my employees for the various work sites. As I copy it, my criteria cell changes to match the criteria cell in that row, but because I'm using the structured references, I don't have to worry about absolute cell references. Okay, so now I'm going to use the SUMIF function to calculate total salary for each of the locations. So again, I'll start out with the equal sign. I'll start typing the name of the function. Here's the SUMIF function. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to use the same range as my first argument. I'm just going to type the name of the employee table, double click, open bracket, and I am going to use the location column again. I'm going to be sure to close the bracket. I'm going to type a comma to switch to the criteria argument. My criteria or condition that needs to be met is that all of the salaries that get added up must be for people in Austin. I'm going to type a comma, switch to the sum range. Now this is the column in the worksheet that we want Excel to add up. based on the criteria we've specified. So I'm going to type an E for employee. I'm going to type an open bracket to get the list of all of the column heads, and I want to use annual salary as the sum range. I'm going to close the parentheses. I'm going to press enter, and there are the annual salaries for the people who work in Austin. I will then copy down and get the rest of the annual salaries for the rest of the locations. Last, I'm going to average the salaries for each location. So I'm just going to start out again with an equal sign, and I'm going to start typing the word average. Here's the AVERAGEIF function. I'm going to double click it. For the first argument range, I'm again going to use employee table, location column. That's my range argument. I'm going to type a comma to switch to criteria. My criteria again will be B4, which is where the word Austin is stored. And my average range will be the employee table, annual salary column, and then I'll close the parentheses, press enter, and copy this down. Okay. So to finish off this little table, I'm going to select cells C8 and D8 and apply an auto sum. And then I'm going to click on cell E8 and calculate an average. So I'm going to just use a formula for that, equal total salary divided by total count. So that's the average salary for all of the employees in the company. And those are the COUNTIF, SUMIF, and AVERAGEIF functions.